Thank you, Balavrinda, for that very, very beautiful chanting.
Thank you, Mataji.
Shivani Mataji, you are doing welcoming today?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Balvrinda, for the beautiful Bhagavad Gita recitation. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री हरि गदाधर शिव सदी गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर जी की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I welcome you all to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call for today's mid-morning session. Thank you all so much for joining. This is Shivani from Ashwin, Virginia. Thank you, Bal Vrinda, for the beautiful Bhagavad Gita recitation. Let us move to the next part of the session. Today's class will be given by Her Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji on the topic of Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 6. May I know who will have joined this morning?
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Balavrinda.
Hare Krishna Balvrinda, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for joining and thank you for the beautiful Bhagavad Gita recitation. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashmati Priya Devi Dasi from Chicago.
Hare Krishna. Vishwamati Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you for joining every single day and thank you for your beautiful association this morning and thank you. All glories to your services, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
All glories to your services, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I would like to start by sharing a quote by Srila Prabhupada ji. It is the duty of the disciple that even if the spiritual master or senior acharya agrees to be defeated, it is the duty of the disciple to see that his spiritual master and superior is not defeated. Vrindavan, March 11th, 1972. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we're very fortunate to have Her Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji to enlighten us on the topic of Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 6. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, Kirtida Sundari Mataji. Thank you for your beautiful and sweet association this morning and your valuable time. Very happy to have you on the call and waiting eagerly to hear from you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Gauranga ki jai. And now I hand over call to you. Please take over, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shivani Mataji. Thank you so much for your very, very warm welcome. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining us today. Really grateful to each and every one of you for showing your enthusiasm and also increasing my enthusiasm in speaking this wonderful scripture that is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay, so we will get started and then we will go ahead and we will start. Let's do Mangalacharam. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shrirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tham Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shirade Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Guruve Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Mukam karoti vācālam pangum langāyate girim yatkripahatam ham vande Shri Guru Dīnatharinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram. My humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindu Vaivacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय all the assembled Vaishnavas की जय. So we'll quickly get started. I seek forgiveness from all of you for changing the date. Instead of Friday, we are having this Nectar of Devotion on Wednesday because of some urgent commitment that came up. And also, I seek forgiveness in advance because still my throat is not good. I might cough in between. Okay, so I'll share my screen. We are in continuation with chapter number 6, and we are doing the devotional service, the 64 limbs of devotional service. So we did, so we'll just quickly go through. Rupa Goswami said that Hari Bhakti Vilasya Bhakti Rangani Laksha Kintu Tani Prasiddhani Nirdeshyanti Yathamati. That the limbs of devotional service, they are not limited to 64. They are many. They are lakshasa. Means they are lakhs. That has been described in Hari Bhakti Vilas by his elder brother Srila Sanatana Goswami. But kintu tani prasiddhani, he has taken the foremost, the important ones, and as per his own intelligence, yathamati. As Rupa Goswami was being guided, he just took the important ones and compiled in his book, that is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. We covered the first 10 that are the do's, and then we have covered the next 10 that are the don'ts. I'll not go and repeat all this because anyways, all these 20, all 64 rather, will be repeated in the future chapters. And Srila Rupa Goswami will talk in detail about all these 64 limbs, citing some examples from the Shastras. Okay. But let's start from 21st. And that is the primary ones, the mukhya ones have already been covered. The next, we cannot neglect them, but they are considered to be the secondary limbs of the devotional service, but they are included in the 64 limbs only. Okay. So we stopped about Krishna Tad Bhakta Videsha Vinittadi Ashaishnota. That yes, the devotees have to be tolerant, but when it comes to Ninda of Vaishnavas, Krishna or Krishna Bhaktas, then the devotees should be intolerant. Okay, they should be ahashaishanata. There should be no tolerance. Then Rupa Goswami says, Vyatikritena shimnam dashanam syad anustitaha. That we don't have to do vyatikaram. Means we have to follow properly all these 10 and the 10 previous do's and don'ts in order to situate ourselves on the platform of sadhana bhakti or devotional service. Now continuation. Now Srila Rupa Goswami says, Asyas tatra pravesya dwaratve api anga vimshate trayam pradhanam evoktam guru padashik adhikam. Asyas tatra praveshaya means all these 20 that I have described, 10 do's and 10 don'ts. Then Rupa Goswami says, Dwaratve api anga amvamshatha. They are considered to be the doorways. Doorways for what? To enter into bhakti, uttama bhakti. Okay. But all these 20 that I have discussed, Rupa Goswami says, they are the doorways to enter into the uttama bhakti, the process of Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Trayam pradhanam. Trayam means the three. The first three that I have stated, they are pradhanam, they are the foremost. Means you cannot neglect the first three limb of devotional service at any cost. Trayam pradhanam evoktam, that I have described, that I have already spoken, starting from Guru Padashadikam, starting from Guru Padashrita. So what were the first three? The first three that Srila Rupa Goswami quote was Guru Padasha, Krishna Diksha Adi Shikshanam, Vishrambhena Guru Seva. And the fourth one was Sadhu Vartmanu Vartante. But he said that first three, they are the pradhan. That is Guru Padashraya, Krishna Diksha Adi Shikshanam, and Vishrambhena Guru Seva. These three cannot be neglected at any cost. These are the prime limbs that one has to accept in order to enter into this process of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So that has been described by Srila Rupa Goswami. Although Rupa Goswami mentioned 20 items, but out of 3, that is accepting a bona fide spiritual master, that is Guru Padashra, taking initiation from him, that is Krishna Diksha Shiksha Adi. I'm just, fumbling here. It's actually Krishna Diksha Adi Shikshanam. And then he says, taking initiation and serving him with respect and reverence. That is Vishrambhena Guru Seva. They are the most important ones and one cannot neglect. Now Rupa Goswami describes the other limbs. So out of 64, 20 are done. And now how many are left? 44 are left. So that means Now we will be discussing the 21st limb. But again, Rupa Goswami starts with 1 because 20 he has already described. So, Dhritir Vaishnava Chinnanam Harir Namakshraha cha Nirmala Descha Tasya Agre Tandanam Dandavan Natihi. So many he has described. So he says, Dhritir Vaishnava Chinnana. So this is the 21st limb. What is Dhritir Vaishnava's Chinnanam? Accepting the Vaishnava's symbols. Chinna means symbols. And what are those Vaishnava symbols? Like wearing Kanthimala, wearing tilak. These are the chinna, these are the signs that we adorn ourselves with, that just by seeing others can make out that we are Vaishnavas. So every Vaishnava, they have the tilak. We could follow any sampradaya. Every sampradaya, Vaishnava sampradaya, they have a tilak. So whichever sampradaya one belongs to, because this Rupa Goswami is not writing Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu only for a particular sampradaya, but all Vaishnava sampradaya, he is saying. So Dhritar Vaishnava Chinnana, one should decorate one's body with the signs of those Vaishnava signs, Vaishnava symbols. And they are like tilak, kanti, etc. So this is one limb. Then he says, Harer Nama Ksharayacha. Sometimes we can also adorn our body with the marks of writing Hare Krishna on our body. That is also okay. Now, again, see, this is not the foremost important. That's why Rupa Goswami didn't include in the primary ones, but these are the secondary ones. Hare Nama Akshara, like Nama Akshara, like you can print your body, stamp your body with the names like Hare Krishna or Krishna or Radha, whatsoever. That is another limb. Then third is, then the 23rd rather, Nirmala Dayascha. Accepting the Nirmalaya. Nirmalaya means the prasad of the Supreme Lord. Even in the 11th canto, we see that when there was a discussion going on between Krishna and Uddhava, then Uddhava actually speaks this verse. Tayo bhukta shraggandha vasolankara charchita uchishta bhojanas dasas tava mayam jayamihi. He says anyone who accepts, who decorate themselves, their body, with Taya Ubhukta Shrag Gandha. With Shrag means the garland, Gandha means the smell, the incense, the oils, the fragrant oils. Vaso means your clothes. Alankara means the ornaments. Charchitaha, they have already been enjoyed by you. Uchishta Bhojana, and also taking the remnants of your meals. Those dasas, those devotees, those servants who have accepted all this, tava mayam jayamiham, they can even conquer your illusory energy. So simply by accepting anything that has been enjoyed by the Supreme Lord, taking his remnants in the form of his garlands, in the form of the oils, especially when you go to temple, after Narasimha Aarti, you get some oil. And then you rub it on your hand. So that has been offered to Narasimhadev, and then it is honored by the devotees. So all these things, he says, Nirmala Descha, accepting the Nirmalya of the Supreme Lord. Now Nirmalya also refers to when you go to Jagannath Puri, you get some rice, the cooked rice, but they are dried. They are also known as Nirmalya. Nirmalya itself means anything that has already offered to the Lord, the prasadam. Okay, that prasad can be in the form of meal, in the form of food item, in the form of clothes, in the form of ornaments, in the form of oils, in the form of flowers, garlands, whatsoever. But accepting those Nirmalya prasad is also one of the limb of devotional service. Then he says, Cha and Tasya Agre Tandanam. Another limb is Tandavanam, Tasya Agre. Agre means in front of the deities. You are dancing in front of, Tandavan means dancing. Dancing in front of the deities, but dancing not to show off that how well I dance, how organized I dance, but dancing in front of the deities as if nobody is watching. Tasya agre thandanavam. That dancing should be done only for the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord. Even if we are dancing on the stage, during the festivals, the temple organizes some Bharatnatyam dance, some other dances. Even they are being organized and we are participating it. It's okay. It's good. It's one of the limb of devotional service, because in our inner consciousness, we are not dancing for the crowd who have come to see, but we are dancing for the Lord. Because normally during these festivals, there are not some mundane Bollywood songs that are played, but some classical Krishna-related songs are organized on which some devotees participate and they dance. So that dancing should be that I'm dancing only for Krishna. Though the crowd may be or may not be, but I'm dancing for Krishna. Therefore, in the Arati time, regularly when you visit the temple and you feel like dancing, don't stop yourself. Sometimes we hesitate. We don't dance in front of the deities. We hesitate. We control ourselves. We lock ourselves. We shouldn't do it. Okay? Because it is one of the limb of devotional service. So therefore, whenever we feel like dance, we should dance. And we should dance as if nobody is watching, because we are dancing it for the Supreme Lord. Tasya agre thandavanam. And then finally he says, Dandavan nitihi, that we should offer our obeisances. Our obeisances unto the Supreme Lord. Now the Prabhus, they do Shashtanga Dandavat, means falling like a stick. And what all they include? Janubhyam, Padabhyam, Karabhyam, Orasa, Manasa, Shirasa, and then Vachasa and Drushta. So these are the 8. And what is Janubhyam means their thighs should touch the body. Padabhyam, their feet should touch the floor, not the body, sorry. Their thighs, Janubhyam, their thighs should touch the floor. Basically falling like a stick. The feet, Padabhyam, they should touch the floor. Then Karabhyam, their hands should touch the floor. Urasa, their chest should touch the floor. Manasa, their mind should be in performing Dandavat. It's not that you are performing Dandavat, but mind is somewhere else. That should not be the case. Shirasa, your head should touch the floor. Vachasa, even your speech. So when you are performing Dandavat pranams, you should also offer the pranam mantras. Suppose if you are in the front of Radha Shyamasundar, Radha Krishna Balram, or Gaur Nitai, you should speak pranam mantras. You are in front of Radha Govind Dev Ji, Radha Madan Mohan Ji, Radha Gopinath Ji. We should offer our on their pranam mantras. Even while we are offering obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, through our speech, we should utter the pranam mantras. So that is very important. Then drushta, our eyes. Yes, we are bowing down, but at the same time, when we keep our head up, then also our eyes should see Krishna or should see the deities whom we are offering our pranam. Now this is for the Prabhus. For Matajis, it's only Panchang pranam. But the point is, Dandavan natihi. Offering our obeisances is also one of the limb of devotional service. Now, this all refers to not only the deities, but he says, Rupa Goswami says, also to the spiritual master. Okay. Next. So how many we covered? 5. 23. Dhritir Vaishnava Channana. Hare Namakshara. 24. Nirmalades taking prasad. 33. Sasyagare Thandavam. 24. And Dandavanati. 25. 26th. Abhyuthanam. Abhyuthana means immediately getting up. As soon as you see the deities, one should immediately stand up. Like sometimes when we enter the temple, the curtains are closed. But as soon as the curtains are open, we should immediately acknowledge the presence of the Lord. We should perform our pranams and we should try to get up. But during the class, when the class is going on, normally we don't get up, but we acknowledge the presence of the Lord and we bow down. So Abhyuthana means that as soon as you visit a temple, then you should stand up. Anuvrajya. Raja means to walk. Anuvraja means walk behind. So whenever there is Rath Yatra or some deities are taken out for strolling on the street, and normally the Utsav deities, they go out. One should follow that procession. That is also one of the limb of devotional service. There are many Vishnu temples in that India especially, where the Utsav deities are taken out. You go to Ranganath, Rameshwaram, some Utsav deities, they are taken out. And it's because the deity, the Krishna, he wants to distribute his mercy onto the devotees. So when such processions are there, then Rupa Goswami says, Anuvraja, you should walk behind that procession. That is also one limb of the devotional service. Next is Gati Sthane. Gati Sthane means try to go to such temples. We should always try to go to Dham, make some arrangements so that we can visit Dhams. We can visit some certain temples in our area, whatever area we are in. Gati Sthana, we should have that habit to going to the temple, going to Dham, visiting regularly. Such kind of habit should be there. That is also a devotional service. Next is Parikrama, circumambulate. Now this circumambulation includes everything. Circumambulating Tulsi Devi, circumambulating Govardhan Hill, circumambulating the temple. And normally, Prabhupada writes that it's normally 3 times, but some devotees, they do it 7 times, 11 times, 15 times, 17 times, as per their vows, if they have certain vows. So that kind of parikrama also we should do. Like if we go to Vrindavan, we do Vrindavan parikrama, we do Govardhan parikrama. And there are so many devotees, we see that they do Dandavat parikrama. As per their vows, they do. So parikrama, it is very, very important. Parikrama refers to keeping the Lord in our center of our life. You keep the Lord in the center and you circumambulate. And normally you keep it, how you do parikrama is clockwise. Means whose parikrama you are doing it, they should be always towards your right hand. So that's how you circumambulate. You do clockwise parikrama. Never do anti-clockwise parikrama. Always try to do clockwise parikrama. Keeping the personality, keeping the lordships onto your right. That is also one limb of devotional service. Then comes Archanam. Archanam refers to Archanam basically refers to worship. But here Archanam, not worldly worshipping, doing arati, but Archanam refers to the preliminary worship that is required, like Bhuta Shuddhi, Nyas, etc. So those who are Brahmin initiated, they normally perform these Bhuta Shuddhi and Nyas, etc. And that is before offering Arati. That is Archanam. That is known as Archanam. Then Paricharya. Paricharya is actually performing Arati, all the 7 items, Dhoop, Deep, Naivedya, then flower, cloth, water, Argya, and then fan. This is all Paricharya. One should do Arati. And especially when we have kids, we should train our kids in doing 1 time at least our home deities, to our home deities. So that is Paricharya. Cha Geetam. We should always sing for the Lord. Whenever we are all by ourselves, we should sing some Vaishnava bhajans. These Vaishnava bhajans, they are the essence of our philosophy. All these bhajans carry the essence of our philosophy. Wonderful acharyas, great acharyas, they have written these wonderful songs we should sing. If we can memorize few, that is great. And we can sing for the Lord. If not, then at least Hare Krishna Mahamantra we all can sing. So sing before the Lord. Geetam, that's also a devotional service. Then comes Sankirtanam. Sankirtana means doing kirtan in the association of devotees. Now this can be discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, that is also Sankirtanam. Discussing the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, that is also Sankirtanam. Chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that is also Sankirtanam. Then singing Vaishnava songs, that is also Sankirtanam. Means doing Kirtanam, whether it's Nam Kirtan, Guna Kirtan, Leela Kirtan, or Rupa Kirtan, any Kirtan, but sung in association of devotees. That is Sankirtanam. And then he says Japaha. Japaha refers to our own chanting. Right? And our own chanting should not mixed with Kirtana. There is a difference between Kirtan, there is a big difference between Japa. So Japa we do normally Upamshu Japa. Upamshu Japa is that only we hear whatever we are saying, hearing the Mahamantra. Others are not disturbed, but we are doing. This is our solitary conversation with the Supreme Lord. And we do it for the Supreme Lord, for His pleasure. When we do Japa. Okay. How many we covered? Apyuthanam, getting up. Anuvrajya, following. Katisthane, going to the temple or dham. Parikrama, circumambulation, that is 4. Archanam, that is preliminary worship, that is bhuta, shuddhi, or nyas, etc. 5. Paricharya is actually the deity worship. Geetam is singing. Sankirtanam is doing in association of devotees, and japa. So 9 we have already covered. No, so 9. So altogether 14 we have covered. Now comes, okay, this is all the translations, okay? So you all can read. Then is Vijnapati. Vijnapati refers to chanting the names, means not the names, but Vijnapati is chanting those bhajans, those verses that have already been written by our acharyas. So Vijnapati means, no, I'm wrong, wait. Vijnapati, what he says is offering our prayers, our own heartfelt prayers, even though they may not be fully 100% grammatically correct, but our heartfelt prayers we should every day offer to the Lord. That is Vijnapati. Stavapat. Stavapat means the prayers that have already been written by the acharyas and we are simply repeating. Or the verses from Srimad Bhagavatam which are there, or verses from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, but we are repeating it. That repetition of those verses, those Vaishnava songs, that is also known as one of the limb of devotional service. So 36th, that is the stava part. And Vijnapati is actually our own heartfelt prayers that we offer to the Supreme Lord. Then comes Swado Naivedya. Then Swado Naivedya means the food offerings that is there, we accept Mahaprasad. Chaturvida Bhagavad Prasado. So there are 4 kinds of foodstuffs, we all know. Some are drunk, some are chewed, some are licked up, some are sucked. So we should try to accept all those. Saswado Naivedya, taking the remnants, Mahaprasad, we should always try to accept. Padadyo means the Charanamrit, the water that has washed, and especially in the morning in the morning you go they bathe the deities, especially the Utsav deities, not the main deities, but the Utsav deities, they are bathed, and you get Charanamrit. So try to drink that Charanamrit. So that Charanamrit, taking the Charanamrit of the Supreme Lord, that is also very, very important in our devotional process. One thing I would like to mention about this Charanamrit, that especially if you go to Dham, like I was in Vrindavan Dham, and sometimes pujaris, when you visit different temples, the pujaris give you this Charanamrit. And truly speaking, with our material eyes, sometimes it is not clean. But we should train ourselves that we should accept it. Even though if it is not clean, even though you see a fly in that Charanamrit, still we have to accept it with full awe and reverence, with full respect, because it is the water that has washed the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So we should try to accept it and keep our mundane thinking, mundane thoughts aside and accept Charanamrit, even though if it is just few drops, but we should accept it. Dhupa maladi saurabhyam. So dhupa maladi means we should smell the incense or the flowers that have been offered to the deities. Dhupa maladi saurabhyam. It's together. Saurabhyam means to smell. Then Shri Murti Sprishtir. Then we should always try to touch the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, the deity of the Supreme Lord. Now someone can say, well, everybody doesn't have this adhikar. Only Brahmins have. When they go to the altar, they have this opportunity to touch the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. It's okay, but we all have home deities at home. So we should not ignore them also. And we should always try, even if we are not Brahmin initiated, so what? We have home deities and we should always try to touch their lotus feet. So Shri Murti Sprishti, touching the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Ikshana, must see the deity with great devotion. So it's not just seeing the deity with our material eyes, but also seeing the deities with full love and devotion. Means our heart, our chitta, our consciousness should be involved in seeing the deity. Sometimes we see things, but our mind is not aligned with it. Normally we give this example that the keys are always the most important things, and it's very normal in every home that you normally lose the keys. You keep it somewhere and then you are not able to find. And sometimes the keys are right in front of us, but we are not able to see it. We are finding the keys, but mind is somewhere else. So we are not able to see the keys which are there right in front of us. Or in that matter, anything for that matter, not only the keys, but anything. So the point is that whenever we are seeing something, our mind has to be aligned with it. Otherwise, it will be just an eye exercise. We'll not exactly see. The mind has to be aligned with every sense organ in order for the sense organ to work properly, fully. So this is very important. Ikshana, that we should see the deities with great love and devotion. Sometimes we go to the temple and we see the deities, and then we chit-chat with the devotees and we are out. And as soon as you are out, somebody asks you, oh, so today what color was the lordships they are wearing, or what was special about their shringar? And we are blank. We saw the deities, but mind was somewhere else. If the mind is aligned, then we should see it with great love and devotion. Oh, how beautiful is Krishna's lotus feet. How beautiful they are being decorated with beautiful anklets. Then you go up, then you see his thighs, then you see the dhoti, which color dhoti, how the embroidery was. And then you see his waist, the waist belt, how beautiful it has been decorated. Some devotees, they put flowers on it. Some put, there's some jewels. Some put some pearls. We should see then Krishna's navel, and then Krishna's arms, and Krishna's shoulder, then Krishna's neck. So all these things we should see in great detail, with minute details we should see. So ikshana is very important. Next comes the aratriko swades. One must offer arati. Offering arati to the Supreme Lord at different times. Mangala Arati, Shringar Arati, Rajbhog Arati. And then we have evening Arati and then Shayan Arati. So any Arati, one must offer such Aratis at different times. And now again the question can come, well, in temple, if we are not Brahmin initiated, so what? No problem, we have home deities. Try to do Arati at home. Shravanam, we should also hear about the Lord. Now, in the very starting of the 64 limbs, Rupa Goswami has already said that there are certain limbs which may have sublimbs to it, but I have not added those sublimbs. So he has just taken the principal one, like Shravanam. Shravanam is, you can hear about the Lord. Now you can do Leela Shravanam, you can do Guna Shravanam, you can do Nam Shravanam. You can study Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, other books. So these is all Shravanam. They all come under the category of Shravanam, means hearing. You can hear anything. Tad kripa ikshanam, tat kripekshanam. Kripa ikshanam means seeking out for the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Now one can say how we can seek the mercy is by doing all these different activities, we naturally become the recipient of Krishna's mercy. And that will come through our sincere prayers. So we should try to offer some prayers and look for the mercy. Ikshana means always to look forward for the mercy of the Supreme Lord. That involves everything, means any opportunity that comes along our way where we can attract the mercy of Guru, Vaishnavas and the deities, we should immediately grab it. Tat kripa ikshanam. We should always seek the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Then comes smritir. Smritir is remembrance of the Supreme Lord. Then comes dhyanam. Smritir is actually meditating and remembering, and dhyanam is meditating. So it looks like similar, smriti, remembering, dhyanam, but there is a subtle difference. Smritir is actually when you remember your deities. So especially when you are chanting, sometimes the form of the Supreme Lord is revealed. So one should always remember the deities. That remembrance should come. That is smritir. Dhyanam is when you sit quietly and take out few minutes of your time out of those 24 hours and you deliberately meditate on the Supreme Lord. But this dhyanam should be shastric. Okay? It should not be through our mental speculation. That today I will meditate and I will see Krishna in orange color. Krishna is always blue and he will be blue. So we have to meditate shastrically. Okay? So that dhyanam, that meditation should come. And that will only happen when we study the books that are describing the different forms of the Supreme Lord. Baraha Pidam, Natavaravapu, Karnayo Karnikaram, Bibradvasa, Kanakakapisham, Vaijantim Chamalam, Randhran, Renun, Adhara Sudaya, Parayam Gopa Vrinde, Purayan Gopa Vrinde, Vrindaranyam, Swapadaramanam, Pravishat Gita Kirti. So remembering such verses that describes the beauty of the Supreme Lord, that describes the form of the Supreme Lord, and we meditate on it. Now this is separate from our japa. In our japa, if our japa is so advanced, this remembrance or this dhyan it comes automatically. But sometimes when we are not that advanced, normally, then specifically we should take out some time and we should meditate on the Supreme Lord. That is one of the limb of devotional service. Okay, yes. Tatha dasyam. Dasyam means one should render some voluntary service to the Supreme Lord. Sakhyam. One should think of the Lord as one's friend. Now, this is not on the point of rasa vichar, because somebody cannot be, we cannot force anybody that you should always think yourself to be one of the sakha of the Supreme Lord. But here, sakhyam, it may mean that also, that having that relationship with the Supreme Lord in the mood of sakha, in the mood of a friend. But otherwise also, sakya means, because who is a friend? A friend is never envious of another friend. That is the true friendship. So sakyam here also refers to that we should not envy the Supreme Lord. In that mood, we are always his sakha. Okay. So one should think of Lord as one's friend, means not envying him. Relationship also, one of the meaning. Another meaning is that not having enviousness towards the Supreme Lord. And finally is Atmanivedanam. Atmanivedanam, that is 49th one. Atmanivedanam is one should offer everything to the Supreme Lord. Whatever is mine is yours, Krishna. I am yours, you are mine. That is Atmanivedanam. So one should offer everything to the Supreme Lord, just like Bali Maharaj did. So we'll cover everything in detail, okay? So now this is 49 have already been covered. Next, Nija Priyo Upaharanam. We should give gifts to the Supreme Lord. Now we can say, well, who are we to give? Yes, Krishna, if he has given us that samarth, if Krishna has given us that capability, then we should use it in Krishna's service. And when it comes to giving upaharanam, when it comes to giving gifts to the Supreme Lord, then we should give it not something which we don't like. Nija Priya, it should be our best that we can offer. If we have to give, suppose if somebody has to gift a sari for the lordships so that their dress can be made, then we should not give that kind of sari which we don't prefer. It has to be the best of the best, because we are giving it to their lordships. So Nija Priya Upaharanam. Rupa Goswami could have said just giving Upaharanam, but he's specified it's Nija Priya. It has to be the best and we should be happy giving it. We should not regret giving it. Oh, this was so dear to me, but I have to give. No, I want to give. That kind of understanding, feeling one should have. Favorite article, such as food, or it can be a garment, or it can be a jewelry, or it can be anything. Tadarthale khila chestitam. And we should take all kind of risk and perform all endeavors for Krishna's benefit. So if we are going to some dham, we have to do some endeavor. We have to offer something which involves our artha, the wealth. Then to our full capacity, whatever we have been, benedicted with by the Supreme Lord, we should give it. Tadarthe kila chestita. Then sarvartha sharanapattis. We have to be a surrendered soul. Now, there is a difference between Atmanivedanam and Sharanapattis. Okay, so I'll just quickly tell you, because Atmanivedanam is also offering ourselves, and Sharanapattis also is surrendering ourselves. But Sharanapattis is that wholeheartedly with full consciousness we are surrendering. Atmanivedanam is then when all the doors are closed and nothing is left, then we surrender. That is the difference. It will be cleared in the future chapters, but I'm just giving you a hint. That Atma Nivedanam is just like with the Bali Maharaj. When everything was lost and nothing was left, then he did Atma Nivedanam. And Sharanapatis, Sarvatha Sharanapatis means every condition, whether the circumstances is conducive or not conducive. But we are surrendered. So, Krishna, I am yours. Tavasmi, 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 Tiyachati. That should be the mood. I am yours, I am yours, I am yours. Accept me as I am. That is surrenderance. Every condition. So, Nija Priyopaharanam Tadarthe Kila Chesitam Sarvatha Sharanapattis. Now, there he mentioned that is 52. Okay. Then Rupa Goswami says, all that I have mentioned, Tadyanam cha sevanam. This also refers to Tadyanam. Not only Krishna, but anything that is related to Krishna. Now, what is that Tadya? Now Rupa Goswami is explaining that Tadya also, but at the same time, he is including that also in the limbs of the devotional service. Like he says Tadyas. What is Tadyas? Tulasi. Pouring water on the Tulasi plant. That is the devotional service. Shastra. One should regularly hear, study Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. So it refers to Tadyanam cha sevanam, doing service to Tadyas. What are those Tadyas? That Rupa Goswami is defining. Tulasi, Shastra, Mathura, Dhamvas. One should live in a sacred place like Mathura, Vrindavan or Dwarka. Vaishnava, doing service to the Vaishnavas, Adi, etc., the devotees. So this is, he's saying the Tadya. Tadyanam cha sevanam. You should do service to Tadya, not only to Krishna, but to Tadyas too. What are those Tadyas? That Rupa Goswami is mentioning, like Tulsi, Shastra, Mathura, and Vaishnava. Then he says, Yatha Vaibhava Samagri Sat Goshtivir Mahotsava. That is one limb. What is that limb? Yatha Vaibhav. Jiski jitni samarth ho. Means Yatha Shakti. Whatever you have been benedicted with, whatever capabilities, abilities you have. And with all the paraphernalia that you can arrange for Samagri. Shad Goshti Bhir. You should arrange for certain festivals. As per one's financial means, you should organize some kathas, some goshtis or festivals, mahotsava. You should also try to organize some mahotsava, some festivals. If sometimes we are not fully able to, because of some financial conditions, if we are not able to fully do it, then partially 2%, 5%, 1%, 10%, 50%, whatever possibility, whatever our financial means allow us, we should contribute in all these things, arranging kathas and arranging festivals for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Yatha Vaibhava, as per our financial means allow us. So how many we covered? With that, we covered 57. Now comes the next. Urjadaro. Urjadaro means in the Urja means the month of Kartik. Right? Is also the month of Kartik is dedicated to Srimati Radharani. That's why her name is Urjeshwari. And the vrata, the vows that we follow in the month of Kartik, they are known as Urja vows. So Urjadaro. So in the month of Kartik, we should do certain kind of services, should make some special services, some visheshena. Some special services we should do in the month of Kartik. Now that is also regarded as limb of devotional service. As it is, we know that Kartik month is the month of sale period, where Krishna is 1,000 times more magnanimous. Why? Because this month is dedicated to his dearmost devotee, that is Srimati Radharani. So in that month, the Visheshta of that month, the importance, the significance of that month is being described by Srila Rupa Goswami. So he says, anything that you do in that service, multiplies 1,000 times, 10,000 times. And it's very important, and it's the limb of devotional service. One should do some special services in the month of Kartik. Not only in the month of Kartik, then he says, Yatra Janmadinashu. Also on the appearance day, like recently we did Gaur Purnima, the appearance of day of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now coming up is Ram Navami, appearance day of Lord Rama. Then Narsimha Dev, then Balaram, then Krishna Janmashtami, then Radha Ashtami. And not only that, also the appearance days of various acharyas, Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, so and so forth. So those days, when we do some special services on those days, tan man dhan se, anything, whatever allows, that is also the limb of devotional service. Then he says, that I think so, this is the total one. Shraddha Visheshta Priti Shri Murtir Angri Sevana. Now we should do Shri Murtir Angri Sevana. Angri means lotus feet. So we should, Pankaj Angri means lotus feet, but Angri means feet. So Shri Murtir Sevane. So for the pleasure of the Lord, the deities, for the devotion, we should offer some services. But that service should be with priti, with love. Any service, whether it can be through our kaya, through our body, through our manasik, man, through our wealth, dhan, artha, whatever possible. But we should try to offer some service for the deities. But it should be done with love and visheshtaha priti, but also with shraddha. It should be done with devotion, with faith. Sorry. So Rupa Goswami says Shraddha means with faith, but Visheshtaha, faith is important, but specifically he says your priti should be there. Your love, your devotion should be there towards the service of the deities. Shri Murti Rangri Sevana. Okay, with great care you should do it. That completes our 60. Solve. Please excuse me for a minute. That completes the 60. Now comes those last 5, 61, 62, 63, 64, 4. He says, Srimad Bhagavatartham Aswado Rasika Saha. That means we should always study Srimad Bhagavatam, taste. Actually, Aswado means to taste, to relish, not just to hear, but to relish Srimad Bhagavatam. Rasika Saha, in the association of the Rasika devotees. Sajatiya Sangha, like-minded devotees. Then he says, Sajatiya se snigdha sadhu sangha swatovare. This is the 62nd limb. That sangha, how that sangha should be? It should be a Sajatiya Sangha. Okay. It should be a Sajatiya Sangha Snigdeshu. Sajatiya means having the same aspirations. Snigdha means they should be very, very affectionate. That Sangha in which we are in, where we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, that or we are doing any limb of devotional service, that Sangha should be very, very affectionate. Should be Sajatiya, should be having the same aspirations, should be Snigdha, should be very, very affectionate. And Sadhu Sangha, Sangha Savatovare, and try to be in the assembly of advanced devotees. It's not that we cannot be in the association of the devotees who are of the similar devotion on what we are. We should try to be in the association. But if we want to gain something, it says Sango Savatovare. Svatovare means they should be little advanced than us, senior to us. Okay, senior not just in age, but senior in their consciousness, in their devotion, in their preeti, in their love towards the Supreme Lord. Okay. So this completes the 62. Now comes 63. 63 is Nama Sankirtanam. Nama Sankirtanam means one should chant the holy name of the Lord. And Shri Mathura Mandale Sthiti, one should live in the jurisdiction of Mathura. Not only Mathura, but Vrindavan, Mayapur, Navadvip. Basically, in some holy dham. Now here, one thing I want to say, Srimad Bhagavatarthanams Aswado Rasika Saha. Not just study Srimad Bhagavata, but relish its artha. Artha means, because see, Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhu Sarvasya Prati Shloke Prati Akshar Nana Artha ka hai. Every word, every syllable that is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, every syllable, it has Nana Artha ka. It may have different meanings. So Srimad Bhagavata Arthana means studying Srimad Bhagavatam with the commentaries of various acharyas. And that too, not just studying, but relishing in the devotees of, in the association of Rasika devotees. And there should be Sajati, Snigdha, Sadhu, Sangha, Svatovare. They should be advanced. Then comes Nam Sankirtan and Sri Mandula Mathistiti. Now you can say, well, Nam Sankirtanam, and Mathura Mandal Sthite, or this has already been repeated in the previous what we have covered. Yes, our Rupa Goswami also acknowledges. And he says, Anganam Panchakasya Purvakam Vikhitalasya cha. These last 5 that I have described, that is Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathuravas, Sri Murtar Sevan. These 5 I have described, but I have again describing it. Anganam Panchakasya Purvam Vilikhatyasya. I have already described these 5 in the above 64 that I have mentioned. But Nikhila Shrestha Bodhya Punarapi Yatra Kirtana. But I am describing it again and taking it again as a separate limb of a devotional service. But don't think that it has a dosh of Punarapi. Punarakta dosh it doesn't have, means repetition. I am doing it just to emphasize that yes, apart from the first 3, that is Guru Padashraya, Shiksha Dikshadi Krishna Dikshadi Shikshanam, and Vishrambhena Guru Seva. Apart from these last 5, what are those 5? Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavad Shravan, Mathuravas, Sri Murta, Shraddhaya Sevan. These 5 are very, very important. Therefore, don't think that I'm repeating it. I'm not repeating it. It looks like I'm repeating it. Yes, I acknowledge it, but I'm repeating it just to emphasize that these last 5 are very important in these 64 limbs of devotional service. Now, I'll read this translation. Now, the total regulative principles come to an aggregate of 64 items. As we have mentioned, the first are the primary 10 regulative principles, do's, and then come the secondary 10 regulative principles, don't. Added to these are 44 other activities. That makes it 64. So altogether, there are 64 items for discharging the devotional service, regulative practice of devotional service. Out of these 64 items, 5 items, Rupa Goswami himself is acknowledging. 5 items, namely worshipping the deity, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, associating with the devotees, Sankirtanam, and living in Mathura are very important. Sadhu Sangha, Nam Kirtan, Bhagavad Shravana, Mathuravas, Shri Murtir, Shraddhaya, Sevana. Iti Kaya, and all these 64 limbs have to be performed how? Iti Kaya, with our body, Rishi, with our senses, Kantha, Karananam, with our inner consciousness. Upasana, it has to be followed. All these 64 limbs have to be followed with our body, senses, and with our inner consciousness. Have to be involved with our speech or inner consciousness. Chatushashte prathak sanghaitika bhedat kramadinaha. Then he says that they are classified into two categories. All these 64 that I have mentioned, some are prathak, some are the limb on their own. Some are sanghaitika. Sanghaitika means that they are collective and they have sublimbs also. So, bhedat kramadina. I have not done any bheda. I have not further divided them, but I have encapsulated all them in one category. Like we saw the example of Shravanam. We saw the example of Kirtanam. Can be Leela Shravanam, it can be Nam Shravanam, it can be Roop Shravanam. Similarly, it can be Leela Kirtan, Nam Kirtan, Guna Kirtan, Roop Kirtan. So he's saying they are Sanghaitika. They are collective. They have sublimbs, but I have not divided them further, but I have encapsulated all together under one heading, that is Shravana. But some are Prithak. Some are all by themselves. They don't have the sublimbs. Like Guru Padashray, no sublim. You have to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, you have to take a bona fide and shelter. There is no further division of such. So some are Prithak, some are Sanghaitika. But those are Sanghaitika, I have not done their Bheda Krama. I have not further divided them. Okay. So exactly how thus they are employed as described in above 64 items. Now he says, all these 64 items that I have described, atha, therefore, arshanu me teshanam udharanam iriyate. Now, whatever have been described, I will give udharan. I will cite proofs or examples from where? From Arsha. Arsha refers to from the scriptures. So from the scriptures, now I will give you udharanam. I will cite examples. I will cite proofs, some evidence, so that these points can be supported. These 64 limbs can be supported. So now Srila Rupa Goswami will give evidence from different scriptures supporting the authenticity of many of these 64 limbs of devotional service that have been described in chapter number 6. So chapter 7 that we will cover next Friday will have the evidence regarding devotional principles. That how, first principle when he says the Tatra Guru Padashraya, how important it is, he will cite some examples from the scriptures to support that this is very foremost important limb of devotional service. So this way he will discuss all those 64 from the scriptures, from the Shastras. Atha arshanu me teshinam, arshanu ma te naishanam, udharanam iriyate. I will give examples from these scriptures to support my point. So with this, we have covered all the 64 limbs, and also we have completed chapter number 6. So chapter 7, we will do it next Friday. Thank you all so much. Thank you for your patient listening, and thank you for tolerating me, and really grateful to each and every one of you. With that, we will end. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ki jai, all the assembled Vaishnavas ki jai. If you have any quick questions, comments, we can go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji ki jai. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, Kirtida Sundari Mataji. Haribol, thank you so much for explaining all the different realms of bhakti in such depth and detail, so easy to understand. As you mentioned, even when you go to as you mentioned, we go to the temple and the curtains are open for whichever arti. If just getting up and giving our obeisances and acknowledging the Lord, for a few minutes. It's such a small thing, but it's such a big part of the bhakti limb. And also, as you mentioned, that when one feels how to one wants to dance for the Lordship, shouldn't feel shy and just do it as you think. Okay, it's only me and the Lord, and nobody else is around us. And one should um, pray to the Lord. Give even though, like, if you don't know how to pray, you just ask for forgiveness and you pray from your sincerity and heart. The Lord accepts every little thing. I mean, we don't have to give Him anything because He's giving us everything. But these small things that the Lord has made for us to do, and that way He's accepting our prayers, our devotional service. So beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very, very grateful to you for explaining all the 64 items of devotional service. Excellent class. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If you have any questions or realizations, please go ahead and share.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dhanat Pranam. Thank you so much. Very beautiful class as always. Mataji, I have a question regarding the Uttamadhikavi. Uttamadhikavi is one who has a strong faith in scriptures and he can defeat. So is it just on basis of scriptures knowledge or is devotion also component is there?
It actually based on scriptures. It's on spiritual knowledge. It's based on one's faith. Faith means also the love and devotion towards the Supreme Lord. And also with sincerity one chants one's japa. So it depends upon all these three. But predominantly on Shastric knowledge, because through Shastra, only this love and devotion comes. Through Shastra, the faith in chanting the holy name comes. So it's basically predominantly in Shastric knowledge only, but also we can say that in chanting and in our devotion towards the Supreme Lord.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Mataji, yesterday, like there was a verse mentioned, Vrindavan Das Thakur was saying, even if Nityanand Prabhu is most insignificant servant of, Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying, even if my Nityanand Prabhu is insignificant of Mahaprabhu, still he will be Lord. So I was just thinking, what is special about Nityanand Prabhu? If now he is a topmost servant of Mahaprabhu, that is we know and we worship. If he is really insignificant, let's say, I don't know if I worship him or not. So
that is the faith, that is the conviction that Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has in his spiritual master. Because Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur is the direct disciple of Sri Nityananda Ram. So that's the faith he has in his spiritual master. He says that even if my spiritual master, Nityananda Prabhu, is the most insignificant servant of the Supreme Lord, but for me, he'll be the most significant one.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. So Sudhakar Prabhu is also asking in the chat, can tattoos be considered? But again, depends with what consciousness we are tattooing our body. If those tattoos are there just for a show off, then that won't be considered in Harer Namakshara, right? That won't be considered. But if it is done with certain devotion, with full consciousness towards the Supreme Lord, then yes. Especially when you go to South India, when you get Diksha in South India. If I'm not wrong, maybe there are some South Indian devotees, maybe Chinmay Radha Mataji or Preeti Vilasni Mataji can correct me. So, especially when you take Diksha, some Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, they are tattooed, they are stamped on your shoulders. So that is what is Chinna when he says, like putting some symbols on your body, which is also a devotional service. So that is what we have to understand. But We are in Krishna consciousness, and Prabhupada has given us putting the tilak. 12 places we have to decorate our body through the mark of tilak and wearing kanthi mala. So let's stick to that only. It is also the limb of devotional service. I hope it helps. Okay, anything else? Anybody wants to add?
Last question. Let's say,
Yeah, go ahead, last name, Mataji.
No, such a beautiful class. Thank you so much. At least I got to hear 40 minutes. I'm very glad. Very, very lovely, Mataji. It was such a nice feeling to hear from you. I can't express enough. Thank you for the very wonderful class. And yes, taking darshan of the deities, and then so many points you mentioned helped me retrospect a lot on my day-to-day behaviors in bhakti. So thank you so much, Mataji. Very good. And yeah, somebody was asking about tattoo, right? Sometime back. Yeah, we don't do the tattoo that modern day they do. It's not like that. Even in the Sri Vaishnava initiation, it is more of it's like a prick. Basically, it's not like a mark that stays for too long. That shankha and chakra that they emboss. It will just happen, and it will be there like like a vaccination mark or something, and then it will fade away also. It's not like the modern day tattoo here.
Yeah, so that clarifies that no tattooing our body. That is not allowed. Yes, Sudhakar Prabhu. Thank you, Priti Lasnimante. Yes, Sudhakar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Actually, I missed the previous one, but I just want to share my understanding of whatever today qualities levels and 20 to 30. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. What I realized is basically any activity we do in normal day-to-day life, it is all the similar one, just but only thing is the love towards to the God. That's the only thing, right? We dress, like we go to party, we go to bhajan, we eat food, we offer food to parties, we seva, whatever I think. It is in the essence is basically any activity, what we are doing it for the purpose or the pleasure of the service of the God. This is what I just
That's
thing
true.
like this. So the word Preeti, I heard that many times in this one. Even Preeti Purokam, do with love, not ritualistic. Just chant with love, dance with love, sing with love, hear with love. This is what I understood, Mataji. Maybe I'm wrong, I
Yes.
don't know.
No,
Even
you are
there is
100% right. Yeah, that is what he's saying. Iti khaya rishi kanta karanana. That you have to perform it with body, you have to involve your senses, but you also have to your anta karana. Anta karana means your inner consciousness. That is also, and that includes what is Preeti. So Rupa Goswami himself says, right? We have shared that. If you want, I can
just
share
realized
it
this
again.
one.
Yeah,
In
that
one of
is
the
true.
lecture, sometime back, I was listening. Even we dress, right? For example, we go to the parties, we dress. We are so selective of choosing the dress, and even nowadays for marriages, they are spending too much money on the dresses. So, but that Prabhuji, that time he said that we should dress for the pleasure of the God. Whatever we dress, whatever we, like you wear ornaments or you wear whatever gadgets, whatever. If it is for the pleasure of the God or in that mood, I think that's okay. That's what he told me now today after your class. It gives me that yes, anything I think should be for the service of the Lord. Thank you, Mataji. I missed your first 20, but I'll try to catch up maybe later. Yeah, it's very
No
nice.
problem. No problem. So this is how, see, Rupa Goswami says, iti kaya rishik anta karanam upasana. So anything that we do, it should involve our kaya, it should involve our senses and anta karanam, also our inner consciousness. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Sunil Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, just want to confirm. Let's say if Vrindavan Das Thakur is not disciple of Nityanand Prabhu, would you still say if Nityanand Prabhu is insignificant servant of Mahaprabhu, he will be my master? So I just want to clarify that.
So that's how his love is towards his spiritual master. That
If
love
it's
he
not,
showed.
then he's spiritual master. That if he is not spiritual master, then let's suppose. Sorry.
Like seeing means spiritual master can be your Diksha Guru or Shiksha Guru. Naturally, if you are not taking any essence from, see, any layman person, you won't have any trust in him. You have certain interaction with certain kind of, with certain topics, with certain devotees. Only then you get to hear from them, know them, and then you develop respect from them. So in that sense, which Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying, that even if, of course, he is a servant, he knows that he is a servant of the Supreme Lord. Now he's saying, even if he is the most insignificant servant, I'm least bothered. Still, he'll be my Lord and Master always. That's how we have to understand. If he would have no interaction with Shri Nityananda Prabhu, why he will glorify Nityananda? There were many in Navadvip who don't like Nityananda Prabhu. They won't glorify Nityananda Prabhu. Even though Nityananda Prabhu is the Supreme Lord, so what? They don't have any interaction. They don't like Nityananda Prabhu, so they don't acknowledge his supremacy. So in that sense, Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying, definitely you have to have some interaction with somebody. Only then you develop some respect. Right?
Yes, Mataji, thank you so much. When I read that, I was confused. If, let's say, he's really insignificant, I will not worship him, I thought. Thank you so much, Mataji.
But certain interaction is still needed, right? He may not be saying, he may not be an Uttamadhikari, he may be Adhama, but still, he may be a Kanishta, but still he'll be my Lord. Because whatever he heard from Sri Nityananda Prabhu, whatever instructions he got from Sri Nityananda Prabhu, touched the heart of Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. His life was transformed. So naturally, he developed that devotion, that love, that respect.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for clarifying that.
Yes, Praladananda Prabhu, please add, Prabhu.
Dharma Pranamata, I don't have anything to add. But I have a question. Does Rup Goswami say anything about, when we have audience with and we have darshan of deities, can we request that I am doing this on my behalf and on behalf of all my satsangis? Can we pray like that? Because this is what I do.
Offering prayers, right? Offering prayer, it's okay. Like especially when we write Vyasa Puja offering, we normally, those our spiritual master knows everything. But from our side, we tell our spiritual master that these are the services we are leading, we are doing it. But at the same time, we say that it is all because of your blessings, and we further seek mercy from you so that we can continue. There's such Vyasa Puja offerings, even if you see the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, when they write their Vyasa Puja offerings, they tell everything to Srila Prabhupada. Whatever they are doing in the service of Krishna consciousness in ISKCON, whatever they are doing, they write it. So similar is the case when we offer our heartfelt prayers to Krishna. We acknowledge and we tell Krishna that this is what I'm doing. And this is the aspect of prayers, The aspect of prayers involves all this, that we offer our obeisances, we glorify the Lord, we consider ourselves to be the most insignificant, and then we ask for forgiveness, and then we request something, and then finally, we also will to be an instrument as per the Supreme Lord. And in that section, we can always pray to the Supreme Lord, and we can tell the Supreme Lord that these are the services and I really need your mercy, your blessing, so that I can in future carry on these services. And oh Lord, please in future also make me an instrument in your will. So these are...
Yeah, that's correct. What I was trying to find out was, when I go to LA temple from here many a time. So when I pray that, I'm not praying alone myself. I'm praying along with all my satsangis with whom we do satsang like that. So that's how, I just don't want to do alone. I just want to do in a group in which we are doing regular satsang like that. So is there any mention about that this is bona fide to do like that?
Exactly, not word to word, but
Okay.
that comes in the aspect of our prayers only,
Oh, I
where we
see.
give
Okay.
our respect and we acknowledge
Mhm.
and we tell the Lord and our spiritual master.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Mother. Very good.
So it says the aspects of prayers is the acronym is GRASP, where
Okay.
G stands for paying our gratitude, R
Mhm.
stands for request, A stands for apologies, S stands for our surrender, and P stands for praise. So
Okay.
that covers all
Grasp.
the aspects of our prayers. Like you see, even if Kunti Maharani,
Right.
how she prays, so that
Mhm.
covers everything.
All right. Thank you. Very
So
good.
yes, Prabhu, you can do it, no problem.
Sure. Okay.
Yes, Sunil Prabhu, you have anything else to add?
Remember the pastime of Mahaprabhu, like when Upa Goswami came to Siddha Bakul, Mahaprabhu said to all of his associates, please pray for him. So I think it is bona fide.
Yes, pray for him. Yes. Sudhakar Prabhu, your hand is raised. You have something to add?
Yes, Mataji, if you can just, I missed this point. In one of the limbs, we said living in Mathura, right? Does
Mathuravas.
this, yeah, Mathura Dham, yeah. Does this literally mean Mathura only, or is my understanding that a place where always associated with the devotional service to the God, like a temples or something like ashrams? Because all of us cannot go to the Mathura and live there,
See,
right?
if
Practically.
our consciousness is such, where we can make a place, mundane place also Vrindavan, then it's okay. If our consciousness is such. But otherwise, Rupa Goswami in Updeshamrita also says, Tishthan Vraje, that one should try to reside in such holy places. And eventually the consciousness will also come. But Srila Prabhupada in that same verse, in that same purport also mentions that it all depends upon our consciousness. Staying in US, if we can make our home Vrindavan, then also it's okay. If our mind is always thinking of Vrindavan or Navadvip or Mayapur or Jagannath Puri, then also it's equivalent. Having that Vipralamba, that, oh, I'm so unfortunate, I cannot go to such dham. Let me make this place as Sri Vrindavan Dham. If our consciousness can be such, then why not? Every place is Vrindavan. But
Like Andal, like the story of the Andal.
huh?
Yeah. No, the story of the Andal, the Villiputtur she made as like, something like that. Huh?
So yes, if our consciousness is such, yes. But otherwise, we should always strive to stay in Dham. At least if not permanently, frequent visits if we can make. And especially when we are outside of India and we cannot make that frequent visit, we come only once in a year, then also our priority should be to visit some dham.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's how we
Understood.
can. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Preeti Lasni Mataji, Sunil Prabhuji, Sudhakar Prabhuji, and Palanda Prabhuji for sharing beautiful realizations and for a very nice question answer session. Thank you, Kirtida Sundari Mataji, for answering all the questions so wonderfully, and very, very grateful to you, Mataji, for today's session, and eagerly waiting and looking forward to next week's session. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If there are no more questions or realizations, once again, I would like to thank Her Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji for a very beautiful class and for explaining all the 64 limbs of devotional service in such depth and detail that we can understand and grasp and do it. Looking forward to the next week's class. Thank you so much, Mataji. Do I have your permission to close the call, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Thank you so much. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री रूप गोस्वामी जी की जय। HG Kirtida Sundari माता जी की जय।
जय।
Thank you, Mataji, for
Thank you,
beautiful
Mataji.
class
Kotika.
always.
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe.